on GoSuffolkRams.com. From Boston, Massachusetts, welcome to Suffolk Sounds, the official show for Suffolk University Athletics. Hello and welcome to Suffolk Sounds. My name is Cam Brennan. You can follow me on Twitter at Cam_Brennan1. That's CAM_BRENNAN1. And that's how you can find me and interact with me on social media. As for today's show, we have Suffolk head women's ice hockey coach Taylor Wasylk. I sit down with Coach Wasylk for an exclusive one-on-one interview, and here's what you can expect from today's episode. We give you fan access that you never thought you'd get to. We'll do having conversations with people that matter to you, get their perspectives from those who have close ties to the Suffolk Athletic Department. Now, that being said, let me get back to Coach Wasylk. Wasylk is the architect of the Suffolk women's ice hockey program that has seen great success in just 2 years of the program's existence. Before coming to the Blue and Gold, Wasylk got an early coaching experience at the University of Massachusetts Boston and SUNY Canton. Before that, Wasylk had a decorated ice hockey career as a forward, serving 4 seasons with the Boston College Eagles. Today, we're going to talk about the process of building the Suffolk women's hockey program, its success in a short period of time, and also reflecting on the program's commitment to community outreach and what awaits the Rams in the CCC. This interview starts now. Coach Wasylk, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Cam.
Kind of a starting question that I've done with the past 2 coaches that we've had on is obviously in March we kind of came to a halt, and for yourself the season had just ended. It was kind of the beginning of the off season, but things stopped immediately. What were maybe some of your quarantine activities or quarantine routine?
Oh boy. On the Suffolk side of things, we didn't get that postseason closure that you normally get when the season ends. I think it was like 4 days between the time we lost that championship game and the time the kids got sent home. So it was crazy. It was a whirlwind. We didn't get that postseason meeting where we talk about our feelings and hash it all out. But, just getting on Zoom with the team, making sure everyone was doing well, staying healthy, stuff like that. And then for me, I cooked a lot. I got new pans. I was on Amazon every day ordering new stuff, ordered new rollerblades, hung out with my dog a lot of time at the dog park this summer. But yeah, not too much, no recruiting activities for a few months. We weren't able to start things until, end of July, early August. So it was a solid 3 or 4 months of being home, being on Zoom, trying to recruit, trying to keep in touch with the team as much as possible. Usually we're checking in on them, making sure they're working out and getting on the ice and stuff like that. And this year we obviously couldn't do that. So it was a bit crazy, but mainly just trying to keep busy, trying to stay sane and not go crazy inside the house all summer.
Yeah, I can definitely attribute to the cooking part. I think I picked up a few helpful recipes that I think I'll hold on to. Mostly desserts, which doesn't really help with the weight.
Love that. But I can make a mean shepherd's pie now. I perfected it in quarantine. I'm very impressed with myself.
I think I've made 4 different batches of chocolate chip cookies. So I think I've learned, if there's one thing I've learned, it's the ingredients and measurements that you need for chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah, you'll have to share that with me. I am not a baker.
I will. But more so back to the athletics perspective.
Yep.
Coming to Suffolk, and obviously you're the architect of this program and building the program in your basic vision. Take me through maybe before you got to Suffolk and maybe some of the ideas you picked up, whether it be at SUNY Canton or UMass Boston, or even from your playing career at Boston College. What were some of the things that you maybe picked up and your path to Suffolk in how you were able to build this program and the idea that you had when putting this together?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is the support that I have, here at Suffolk, and that I had, right when I got the job, right when I stepped on foot for my interview, stepped foot on campus, everyone was super, super supportive, from the AD to the president to the deans to the other coaches. I remember my first day at work, I walked in and there's a huge pile of apparel on my desk. Everyone's stopping in to say hi. People are talking recruiting already. People in admissions are emailing me about hockey recruits that have applied. Everyone was super excited about it and super supportive. So, I don't even consider it a transition coming here because it was so smooth. It was just like walking in and everything was set and we were good to go. Things I picked up, things I learned that I kind of brought here. In my coaching career, I learned different things at both schools, at UMass Boston and SUNY Kit, and I got really good at recruiting at one of them. I got really good at running practice by myself at the other one. Just learning how to be a coach and kind of moving. That was a transition, moving from, being a player to being a coach. I remember my year at UMass Boston, I had my birthday, I turned 23, and some of the girls on the team were like, "Welcome to the 23 club, coach." They were older than me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy." So, that was definitely a transition, but, just the competitiveness of it, the wanting to win, those are all things, I kind of developed at BC, the wanting to be the best, and not individually, as a team. So, I kind of developed that as I went through coaching, but definitely bringing it here to Suffolk, I kind of walked in with an attitude that if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right, and we're going to get good kids. And, I walked in and I'm like, all right, let's go see every nook and cranny of this campus and figure out what recruits are going to love and, what they're going to have to learn to love and stuff like that. And, the kids really bought into it. We got super lucky that first year that we got some very, very talented kids. And it was just excitement. I was so excited to talk to them, to have them on campus, to show them around, to show them this amazing city that we love. And they loved it too, and they believed in it. And they, that first class will always, always, always be, you're not supposed to have favorites, but,
Yeah.
They definitely have a special place for me because we had nothing to show them, no record, no roster, no, the locker room wasn't done, and the ice, we barely knew what rink we were playing at when we started, but the kids loved the campus and they loved the vision and they bought into it and they believed, quicker than I did, which is hard to believe. So, that first group will always, always be my favorites just because, they had nothing to go off and they took a leap of faith, if you will, and it's paid off. So they're juniors this year, which is like, I can't even wrap my head around the fact that they're juniors this year, but just super excited to finally have everyone back on campus. And, we're less than 2 weeks from practice here. So the kids are super excited, super focused.
Yeah, and especially that first class too, not only did they jump in immediately, they jumped immediately into success as well. But before we get to that, I want to maybe take us through like the process of that first year, not even the first season, but going through and recruiting and going through and trying to set up everything that you wanted to have the program to be where it is today, whether it be establishing what system you're using, establishing what kind of regulations you're going to use, and kind of establishing like that philosophy itself. Just take me through that process of maybe that recruiting year or
Yep.
get everything together.
Yeah, I think, starting a new program is interesting. The first and foremost, most important thing is that you have enough players to put on the ice. That's the first concern, right? Normally. So with me, it was, I know that this school is amazing and this campus is amazing. And I was so in love with it. I said, I know that I can get enough kids here. We can be a little picky this first year and try and get the right kids here. So, I went out looking for talent. Of course, you need talented players because we wanted to be competitive right away. But also looking for super, super good kids that could develop into captains and leaders and strong voices in the locker room and on the bench. And then, maybe if they're a little quieter, but they'll go out and they'll score that overtime goal, kind of just looking for pieces to the puzzle right off the bat, which might have been a risky move. It might not have worked out. We might not have ended up, I might have been a little too picky and we might not have got enough kids, but they were just such good kids and they all bought into it right away, right when they stepped on campus. So you can kind of see it now. We have our first captains this year with four of the players that were in that inaugural class. And that's something I saw when I recruited them. I was sitting in my office and Julia Volpe committed, sitting right in front of me. Her and her mom were like, "Yep, we're coming." And I said, "This kid is going to be one of our captains." I don't know if it's first year or second year or third year or when, but coming into this year, she's one of our assistants. And I saw that with all four of the captains. So it's super crazy to see it develop, to see how it worked out. And, I try not to take too much credit for it. The kids did all the hard work. They earned it. They got the votes from the team and all that stuff. And, but yeah, just a crazy process. I was on the road Wednesday to Sunday, like every weekend. Like I paid my dog sitter so much money that year because I was gone like every single weekend. I was like, someone needs to take care of my dog. But, just going to Michigan to, nationals were in California that year, going to, Canada back and forth. I went to Florida. I did a camp in Sweden for the summer. Just kind of going everywhere and anywhere, looking for the best players, the best and the right players, of course, but, kind of getting outside of Massachusetts and outside of the East Coast, and just, don't really care where kids are from. If they have what we're looking for and they love it and they want to be here, then we love them. So it's super interesting. That first year we didn't have a single player from Massachusetts. And I remember, people around here said, wait, you don't have any kids from Mass or Boston? Like, do we have enough kids? Like, do we have a roster? And I'm like, yeah, guys, like we have like 24, like we're fine. But, hockey's such a weird sport in that aspect that, it's not as popular as soccer and, the other sports that a million kids at every single high school play. It's, it's a different kind of kid that plays hockey, and, they live everywhere. You can see it on our roster now. We have a girl from Florida, a girl from California, a player from British Columbia, from, Minnesota. We have Michigan kids. It's crazy. So, but super proud of them, super, super proud to coach, such a diverse group. So we're rolling with it for now.
Absolutely. And I think another amazing part of that too is the fact of, as soon as the program got going, you jumped into success immediately. You yourself were named Coach of the Year for the NEHC in your first season, which is a great honor not only for a first-year head coach, but for any coach in general. And then the team was seated second behind Norwich. And then the following season, you were able to make it all the way to the NEHC conference final as well, going on back-to-back road game victories as well. So I think that those particular things show the amount of talent and dedication. But take me through the kind of, was it basically a shock? Was it an expected almost of that quick success for the team?
Yeah. It was both, honestly. Like I said, recruiting, we were looking for the kids that would come in and make us competitive right away. What really carried us that first year was just the excitement of it. The first game, the first win, the first shutout, the first goal. Like every game, the first semester was someone's first goal or someone's first penalty or someone's first, block shot or this or that. So the kids showed up with a ridiculous amount of excitement for every single thing we did. And that carried us a lot. That won us games that maybe we didn't play great, but, and maybe we weren't the better team, but we went out there so stinking excited to just be on the ice and be together that, we ended up winning. So that first year, it was a whirlwind. It was expected, but also shocking at the same time to finish second. And then the awards that came with it were awesome. Like we had Shauna Cote was the Rookie of the Year. We had, I think, 3 or 4 kids that were on the all-rookie team. We had, people that were on the first team all-conference, second team all-conference as a freshman, which was cool. So, a lot of talent and a lot of effort and a lot of rewards coming out of it. So I was super happy for the kids. I don't think my Coach of the Year award had anything to do with me. I think it was the kids did an amazing job. It wasn't that I drew up the best D zone or the best power play ever or anything like that. It was, the kids did all the hard work. I kind of just showed up and did what I could, but, they were so self-sufficient that year. And like I said, just the excitement of it. They were so excited for every skate, even when we were getting skated like at 7 a.m., morning skate when we're not as focused as we should be. And coach puts them on the line, like they're cheering and they're supporting each other. So that carried us into second place, like you said, heading into the playoffs. And then, we were a very young team. We had 17 freshmen on roster. And yes, we were the 2 seed playing the 7 seed, but UMass Boston is a ridiculously talented team. We always go head to head with them. We ended up losing 2-1, I believe, but it wasn't for lack of effort. It was, we were super young. We were freaking out a little bit. We were in the playoffs. We didn't know what to do, a little overexcited. And, it was an awesome experience. And it took us a while to accept it, but losing that game made us a lot better. It brought us down to earth a little bit, just kind of upped our intensity at practice this year, if you will. And then we saw that carry over into last season, season 2. And it was the most, it was a very up and down year on the score sheet in the win-loss column. I felt that we had more talent than we did year 1, but for whatever reason, we just had trouble pulling out the win. It wasn't a lack of effort. It wasn't a lack of excitement. It was just, a struggle to put the puck in the net, a struggle to stay out of the penalty box. And it was a gut check the entire year. Just every day we were like, okay, what can we do now to be better tomorrow? And we kind of set big goals for the year, and we reined those in a little bit. We made them small goals. We're like, let's just start small. What do we want to do this weekend? Forget about next weekend and the weekend after. And it paid off. Second semester, we started playing a lot better. We did a lot more film. We kind of delved into our opponents a lot more. And we never really talked about making the championship game. For us, it was always winning that first playoff game, because the year before we lost that game. So it was like, let's just make playoffs. Let's win that first game and go from there. So we made playoffs as the 6th seed, which we were a little disappointed in where we finished, but it was a good disappointment. It fueled the kids a little bit. It put a little fire under them heading into playoffs. So we won our first game, like you said. We won our second game at Southern Maine. We've never won on their ice before, so that was like, we were nervous going up there, and excited nervous. Like, okay, this is going to be our first time that we win a semifinal game and we win on this ice, and we played super, super well. And what stands out is we were up 1-0. Halfway through the second or third period, they tied it up and made it 1-1. And every other time we've been at that rink, we've fallen apart when that's happened. The kids just get down on themselves. They play a little bit odd, but we found a way. We came back. We won 2-1. It was an awesome feeling, and that's when it hit everybody. Like, holy crap, we're going to the championship. That's when it hit me. I was like hugging everyone on the bench. We were going crazy, but yeah, that's all the kids. That's all them. They earn it. Them earning it every single day, and not just on the score sheet. At practice and off the ice, and doing all the things right. So, it was a huge, huge honor to make the championship game. We didn't win, but I told my kids, I said, that was a year 3 goal for me, making the championship, and we made it in year 2. So, the fact that we came out and we played with them for 70% of the game, we held our own, we scored first, we had the lead twice. There's a lot of very, very good things that came out of that game. And on our postseason Zoom with the kids, I said, guys, I would go and I would lose that game all over again just to feel those feelings again of scoring that first goal, and hearing the bench go nuts when we went up 2-1. Like, it was so worth it. And now the goal is to win a championship. And obviously we're moving conferences to the CCC, but now it's something we're talking about. It's a tangible, it's attainable, it's something we've been there and we've lost. So now the only way up is to win. So super excited to get back into conference play and hopefully make it happen.
Absolutely. And I think that's especially an exciting part when you are moving through the gears, but especially it's a kind of a shock when you're going that fast as well.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to lose before you win, as I think some maybe scholars say. But
yes,
transition.
Take it.
Yeah, exactly. Transitioning to maybe a topic off the ice is your team does a lot of community outreach, and it's a very prevalent and very recognized as well. So before I maybe delve into it, why don't you just rattle off the couple occasions that you've had with community outreach, and a couple different ones as well?
Yeah, it's something that I was a big part of at SUNY Canton when I was working there. We had a third jersey game every year, not every day. And the kids really got behind it. So it's something I wanted to bring here. And, only if the kids were on board with it. I didn't want to run it. I didn't want to, make them do something they didn't want to do. But I proposed it to them the first year and they loved it. So we had an autism awareness game. We got special jerseys and socks, and had people come and watch the game and drop the puck, and we made it this big inclusive event, which I was super, super proud of the girls for organizing. And then this past year, we did a Special Olympics game. So the kids do a really good job of getting involved without me, which I love. I'll send something to the group and say, hey, totally optional, but if anyone wants to do this, just let me know. And 20 people text me and they're like, yeah, we'll be there. What time? And I'm like, perfect. They're super good kids in that sense. But yeah, Special Olympics was super, super special. I don't mean to use that word, but the kids loved it. It's something they completely buy into. They love working with these athletes. They go to our rink in East Boston, and it's called the Adaptive Skating Program. So they skate with a lot of athletes with disabilities, and they help them skate and have fun on the ice. And they're like shooting soccer balls around and doing all this fun stuff, bowling on the ice, like all this crazy stuff that, we obviously don't do at practice, but they get a chance to go out for an hour or two and have fun with these athletes. And it's awesome. They really, they really like it. They really buy into it. I was lucky enough that an athlete that I knew from my time at BC. He was kind of our super fan. He got involved as well. So now he came to some of our games, and he's a big Suffolk supporter now too. But yeah, it's awesome. You know, we were super lucky in that we were featured in the NCAA Spotlight poll last month, I believe, or August. And we won it, which is awesome. So now we get a stipend from the NCAA to have another Special Olympics event. And, you know, it's not that easy to plan during COVID, but we kind of have the kids on it already. The wheels are turning. We're like, all right, we have this huge opportunity to do something great with this victory. Like, what are we going to do? How are we going to make another super special event for these athletes? So I don't know where we're heading in the future. You know, we might stick with Special Olympics. The kids really like it. They really like working with them. So we might stick with Special Olympics for the next few years here, but that's, you know, completely up to the kids. I tell them, come up with a cause as a team, tell me how we want to get involved, what we're going to do, how we're going to earn money and donate it back, and, you know, let me know. So the kids are doing a really good job with it. Super, super proud coaching moment, just, you know, seeing them take the reins and give back a little bit. You know, besides the Special Olympics and the autism game, they do a couple different things in town. You know, they always volunteer at the Reebok Boston 5K for women, which is really cool. They go help set up the Boston Common the day before it happens every October. Last year we had a Be the Match bone marrow registry on campus, which was awesome. Just basically going around campus trying to get people to sign up and get more and more potential donors in the bone marrow registry, which is pretty cool. They're doing a really good job with everything. You know, somebody emails me something and they're like, hey, can we get some volunteers for this? And my kids are always, you know, on GroupMe, they're like, they love it. They love getting involved and giving back. And it's super important. You know, at school, when I was in college, I didn't realize how important it was. I was so caught up in the moment of being an athlete and, you know, being at this amazing school. But kind of a goal I set for myself with my team is make them realize how important it is to give back, because we are so lucky to go to this school and be in this amazing city and be on this amazing team. And they've done a really good job of kind of taking the reins on that and getting involved. You know, whether it's in the community or in the state or on campus, whatever it is, you know, they put their best foot forward and get involved as much as possible.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to your team as well, where it's something so, not taking the time out of your day, because it could be something so small as just going forward and signing up for something, or being an ally, or being whatever for those particular people. But I think it's important for those student athletes to be involved in the community. And I think that, like, especially from what I've seen, your team is definitely has probably one of the highest participation rates of anything that I've seen.
Thank you.
But
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
We try.
Absolutely. And going on the fact of that adaptive skating event, I was there too. I was taking video and photo, and we'll definitely, whether send a link or we'll send you to our YouTube channel. That link was something that the NCAA was able to see for that spotlight, and you won the poll 60%. What was your overall thought from that 60% win?
It was great, you know. So Amy sent it to me, and she goes, "We're behind by a lot, you know," and it was like 100-0 or something, or 120-0, and I'm like, crap, we have 24 hours to figure it out. So I sent it to the team. I'm like, hey, you know, we have been nominated for this. This is what the prize is. You guys did a really good job to earn the nomination. Let's try and win. And, you know, it seemed a little far-fetched. We had 24 hours to get like 200 votes or something, but you know, I think everybody sent it out to every single contact in their phone, and we all shared it on social media, and we, you know, took over the lead within like 12 hours. It was crazy. So no, I was super excited. You know, it just shows how much the kids care. And even the freshmen that weren't on the team last year to do any of the Special Olympics work, they were like, yes, let's win this. Like, this would be so cool. You know, they're sending it out to their parents and their old team and stuff like that. So it was really cool for me as a coach to see how quickly everyone, you know, even the new kids were like, yes, this is us. This is our cause. Like, let's do it. So super, super excited about it. Really happy that we won. Excited for, you know, to see what the kids come up with, what our next event is. So. And
I'm excited to see what that event is when it does happen. But I think maybe one of the final wrap-up questions that I have here for you is, obviously you mentioned before moving to the CCC, and a couple other new programs are coming in there, whether it be a couple very young programs or even new programs as well. Western New England is just starting their women's hockey program, so it should be a great thing when we do get back to it, but what are some of your hopes and expectations when we do hit the ice again?
Yeah, just one, to get on the ice again. That's what we are counting down the days till our first practice here. But no, I'm super excited about moving to the CCC. I think it'll be really good to have everyone at Suffolk under the same umbrella. Before we were the New England Hockey Conference for the men's and women's hockey, but then all our sports were in the GNAC. And having never played in the GNAC before, I didn't know who we were playing ever. I didn't know who any of these schools were in New England. So it's going to be fun for me and the other coaches here at Suffolk just to have common opponents. Like, we're both playing Endicott and we're both playing Salve. So, from a personal standpoint, that's super exciting. And then, on the hockey side of things, it's very similar to the NEHC, strong up and down, all good teams, a couple of young teams coming in, new coaches that, we haven't played against, and then a lot of coaches that I've been playing against for years. So super excited for the move. It cuts down on our travel, which is awesome too. It lets the kids be in class all day on Friday and just, head to the rink after classes then. But it'll be tough. It'll be challenging, but the kids are excited about it. It's super exciting to play other young teams too. Just, we were in your shoes a year or two ago, so we know the excitement, we know the struggle, we know everything about it. So, we're just looking to come in and establish ourselves as quickly as possible. And wherever that ends up being, in the depth chart of the CCC, we know it'll be competitive. We know it'll be fun. And, our sights are set on getting back on the ice and getting back in the win column as soon as possible. So we are counting down the days until hopefully we start in January.
Yeah, and I'm the same way as well. I'm looking forward to seeing what the team can do when they do get back on the ice.
Yeah.
Coach Wasylk, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to sit down and talk with me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Cam.
Ram Nation, if you liked what you heard today on Suffolk Sounds, be sure to visit our website, GoSuffolkRams.com. That's GoSuffOolk.com, where you can find all you need to know for Suffolk athletics. We're all about it here on Suffolk Sounds. Be sure to follow the Rams on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter with the same name for an insider's look. Don't forget to subscribe, like, rate us, leave a review on whatever platform you're listening to the Suffolk Athletics official show. Send us your questions of who you'd like to hear from, whether it be a player or a coach, and we'll be sure to bring something new to every single show. And be sure to tune in next week when we have Suffolk head women's volleyball coach Scott Blanchard for the next show. Until then, I'm Cam Brennan. Talk to you soon, Ram Nation. This has been Suffolk Sounds. Don't forget to subscribe, like, rate, and review however you listen to your podcast.